Welcome back, YouTube. J-Bob the Video Game Slob coming back at you with the first of the last of three um, $200 box things that we bought out of the GOAT estate sale. And so this is hopefully the last run of new things coming in. I can do a much better job of focusing on what's selling and what's going out, which has been really tough. So I mentioned at the end of the last video, so I'll say it up front here so that everybody knows what's going on. We are at $745 in eBay and like local meetup sales on the front end. And then we just got in today, and so hopefully you've watched the previous video. We had a pretty red hot month of January in sales at the Antique Mall. And so with those added in, we are up to $1,323.79 in sales. So pretty close to getting the 7,600 back, right? Yeah, unfortunately not. But yeah, as hopefully, we can keep moving through what's coming in, we can get a better idea of what we can get out and start to earn some cash back here. Because as we are now into February, we're only a few months away from garage sale season. So we need that bankroll back in place. And we could also use the funds to help get some of this stuff out to grading. And, that's another fun part of this journey we'll get to as well. Picking out which sealed games will go off for grading. And so some of that $745 that I talked about did come from a couple of sealed games that I put online that just, to me, seemed like hot properties or games that had spiked that I wanted to take advantage of the spike of. And I'm sure there's others that I just haven't identified. There were just some that I knew of. But anyway, you didn't come here for all that. It's almost 2 minutes. Let's go through the complete in-box games here. There was a time where I was hoarding these. I haven't seen one in a while, but it was Working Designs, and I put together the whole Working Designs set. And so I just felt like just nice holofoil covers. Working Designs always did great stuff. And although this game and Sylphied weren't that great, what it always has with these games is this great quality box and all this kind of stuff. But given that I already have like a horde of them and we need to get some money back, we'll let that one go. I would gladly let every copy of Rebel Raiders go that I have, but nobody on Earth is going to take all those from me. Looks like we got a little wavy, maybe water damage or something here on the Shadow Man 2, but still a fairly uncommon game and now in a genre that people like. So I think that should do well for us. NBA Starting 5, maybe the less common of the sports run on the PS2, but nobody cares. Although I always have too many The Sims, they always seem to keep moving, so we'll let that go and get that to a new owner. Eternal Ring is one of the few age tech games that people just do not seem to be in love with, and I'll admit, I have not played. But yeah, you would think RPG-ish PS2 age tech would check all the boxes, dragons, but unfortunately not. Oddly enough, I think The Getaway and its sequel tend to do better for me than that. And again, I think we've mentioned this before. It's like, you would think these Devil May Cries would do better since it's kind of beloved, but it isn't. And I think this is the game my buddy and I always joke that every time we see it, we're like, doesn't that game sell for a lot? And you're like, no, it actually doesn't. So, and this one did have a moment just before Christmas where it was, I think some of the sales hit like $90. I don't think it's like that anymore because I had looked it up for something else and it wasn't there. But this is definitely a game that was not as expensive as it is now. I think it's still maybe in the $50 range. I'd have to go check it up. And of course, there's a price variant on Xbox and PS2, but keep your eye out for it. So, yeah, not a ton there. We'll save the sealed games and, of course, go through a brief walk of disappointment. These were the ones, as if you've been following these, they came in these giant cardboard totes. And you just, I wasn't looking through them all, and I was kind of given information that made me believe that there were games in these things. And so my contention sort of has been, I would still have bought these things for $200, even knowing that these were empty boxes. But yeah, Shadow of Colossus hurts. Gungrave definitely would have done well. No one's going to cry in our Cheerios over the Jam Pack or the NBA Live. Orphan has finally added a few dollars to its value, but that Tomb Raider nobody cares about. Here it is. Here's the... Oh, that was the big one. Yeah, Coraline. I don't believe I have this on PS2. And the only copy I have, I think, is on DS that I got for very cheap after it spiked out of a GameStop. And 13 would sell. But, nothing crazy there. So, yeah, the Coraline, that was not great. We'll have to see. Some of these boxes have had value. I did sell a couple of the empty boxes. I don't know, probably GameCube or PS2 games. I can't remember. So we got that going on there. But yeah, let's look at the sealed stuff. Let me know what you think. And as always, I haven't looked any of this stuff up. This is kind of the first time going through it, and just me and my experience with video games. But I am not a sealed game collector or valuer, so I don't have a lot of great experience. I would say probably 15 or 20 bucks. A lot of those Capcom Resident Evils on the PS2 kept getting overprinted. And same with Hitman. It's just not a game it seems like a lot of people care about. Natsume also released, they must have had a bunch of games in their vault, and I remember their official eBay channel was selling a bunch of sealed stuff at one time. We got Manhunt. Again, if this was Black Label, I think that'd be really good. I still want to say I'm hopeful that it's 30 or 40 bucks, although I don't know. Namco Museum, I think, is probably a dog. I'd be happy with 10. And again, Crazy Taxi, I feel like had this been Black Label would be pretty good, but I'd still guess maybe 20, 25. I don't know. And this is one I feel like I see Virtua Fighter a lot, but I don't even know if I own a Virtua Fighter Revolution or Evolution. I don't know. Toys R Us thinks it's 20. I'll agree with him. Maybe that one's still 20. These Incredibles are really weird. Sometimes people like them, so I don't know. Hopefully. $8.96. What a weird price tag on that one. Oh man, Foily and Terminator-y. There's so much to love about that. But I don't know. I can't imagine that's a big money game. Maybe $20 bill on that. But here's some of the stuff I'm hopeful for. Metal Gear Solid, the Snake Eater, Black Label. Hopefully that does well. And here's another one that I feel like when I find it just complete in the box, doesn't bring the money that I feel like it should. But I don't know. I mean, hopefully maybe sealed. And so here was one I was also pretty excited about, mostly because I love the series, State of Emergency, if you're not aware. But 2, I feel like is fairly uncommon, but the thing is, and you get a sense of it, it's sort of this GTA clone. I don't know, because it doesn't have a lot of popularity, or it doesn't have a lot of clout. Do people know about it? Does it have value? This one looks to be sealed, but it has one of those really weird oddball seals, and it's kind of broken. But luckily, I don't think I care, because it's a PS2 title. Same thing here. I mean, if it was any sealed football, I'd want the NFL 2K5. I don't think the 2K3 is very good. Nice $5 copy of King of Fighters 2006. Part of me says this will have good value because it's SNK, and you always get a nice bump out of that. It's a King of Fighters fighting game, of course, and so King of Fighters and fighting games also tend to have a crowd. And it's 2006, so that was the year the PS3 launched. So, that's fairly late in its lifetime, and so hopefully that gives it a nice bump. Crash of the Titans, again, it's a Crash game. It's Black Label. It was late release because I know this came out on the Wii and 360, so maybe not a terribly large print run. That would be great. I just feel like these are ones that are going to go for grading because I feel like people are fans of Crash and Ratchet and Jak, just want slabbed copies. I mean, obviously you can see the little wear there. It wouldn't be a 9.8 or anything like that, but will people pay a premium for that, knowing it's Black Label? I hope so. Again, I'm hoping that there aren't a ton of these variants, or that people pay a premium or would appreciate, that greatest hits taped over sort of variant there. I know there are collectors of the greatest hits series of the PS2. If you're not clued into that, Shrek is a very tough to find PS2 greatest hits game. Not the regular Shrek, but like Shrek 3. I think that's what it is. I think it's Shrek the Third. And then Madden Football 12 is a really tough one to get. We talked about the instruction manual of Sly 3 in the previous video, but here we go. Black label sealed there. Bounty hunters are often pretty cool in the Star Wars universe. I'm not so sure in the Henry Rollins universe if that's cool or not, but we'll find out. This one I'm always stoked to have. I have the other GTAs sealed, and so yeah, having this, that's definitely going off to Wada. And then this little guy poking around at the bottom, clearance, 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 ultra clearance. Don't steal it tag on the side of it. A little Clock Tower 3 action there. So if nothing else, I'm hoping this saves us. But let me know, what you're thinking on all of this stuff. Would you have paid $200 for all of it? What should go in for grading? What shouldn't? And would you, have bought this knowing that, oh yeah, there's a bunch of empty boxes in there and you're going to get taken to Host Town on those. So, continue to follow along with the journey. Go back and watch the old episodes if you haven't. And, we'll see you real soon. J Bob, the Video Game Slob. We're out.